everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Storytime at Canalside, but not at Canalside because it's raining again today, which we know is really nice because our flowers and our lawns need the water, and so do our crops, but it means that we're back at the Buffalo Museum of Science, and I have some special friends with me today. Before I introduce you, we want to say thank you to our supporters at the D-Bank, the Children's Foundation of Erie County, and the Bauer Foundation. And then we have some special guests today. Pamela Vetrano will be here with the YMCA of Buffalo and Niagara. And I have Emily and Carlo here from Queen City Kitties, and they are going to read to us Hiccupotamus. All right, take it away.
Hic. There was a hippopotamus who hiccuped quite a lot of mess, and every time he got a mess, he'd fall upon his bottomus. One day he saw an elephant with cakes of green and yellowfin. He tried to tell her, "Hello, Fent," but it didn't go so well-a-Fent. See, she chased him toward a centipede, pouring new cementipede. He hicked by accidentipede and tripped the elephantipede. They ran near a rhinoceros with minty dental flossosaurus. His string went all criss-crossosaurus, and that was the last strawsaurus. They tried to find a therapy, some cure which they could share-a-pee. A what or why or where-a-pee to stop this long nightmare-a-pee. So they wrapped him round with licorice and spun him very quickerish. They secured him to a buffalo and made him huff and puffalo. They acquired an aquarium and flashed him something scarium. They poured him tubs of vinegar and tickled his chinniger. And then at last, a miracle. His hiccups, so severical, just didn't reappearical. He grinned from ear to earicle until hic. The end.
All right. Thank you so much. And Carlo, you did such a great job. Do you want to show off any tricks for us today?
Carlo, come here. You want a good treat?
He does. Maybe we can ask him to do something fun. Oh, no.
Carlo, come here. Come here. Sit. Wave hi to everyone. No?
He doesn't.
Touch. Wave hi.
Oh, good boy.
Oh, do nice. Good boy. Lay down. Good boy.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
So with all of the animals that we saw this morning in the book and with Carlo here, I thought that it would be nice to talk about some of the ways that an animal can be different and adapted to its environment. So here I have two bird heads. This one is a sandhill crane, and this one is, I believe it's a type of goose, but I haven't looked it up. So this is something that we can all examine together. But this one, we see that has a nice long beak. It's not fat, it's very narrow, very pointed. It's kind of shaped like these tweezers are shaped. So something very, very narrow, and it can get into very small holes. But we also have beaks that are kind of round and stubby. So this one, this goose has teeth inside that are good for tearing, but different beaks can pick up different types of items, different foods that the birds would like to eat. So this one looks a little stubby, kind of like a clothespin. So what we're going to do today, and you can do this at home, is that we have a bin full of stuff. And I'm gonna make a loud noise as I pour this into a smaller bin. See all those seeds, rocks, beads, rubber bands, paper clips. We have macaroni noodles. Well, that's not a macaroni noodle. This is a spiral pasta noodle. We have little shells. We have cotton balls. You can put anything that you like in your bin. And then we have lots of small beans. So these are things, not all these things are things that birds would like to eat. Birds would like to eat beans, sure. They might eat pasta, but really that's not very good for them. If you want to feed ducks, feeding them grapes is a great idea. So in the same way that we have different types of beaks, this long, narrow beak and this little round beak, we'll see what we can pick up out of our assortment of all the different things that birds might eat. So what do you think might be able to be picked up by these tweezers? They're very thin. Let's see what we can get. Can we pick up a big stone? Oh, kind of, but that's really hard. You have to have some good finger strength for that. And I don't think that that's going to fit in the bird's mouth. I don't think it would go all the way down. So let's put that back. We don't want to eat that. Let's try a bean. Ooh, that looks like a nice piece of food for a bird with a narrow beak. They might also want to eat something like a snail. We have this teeny little snail, a little mollusk shell, and with a bird beak that's very narrow. I don't know if you all can see this, but in the narrow bird beak, that beak reaches right in there. And so a bird with a narrow beak is able to eat snails out of their shells. Let's try that with the one that looks like a duck, though. So this is our simulation of what the duck's beak looks like. Do you think that duck is going to be able to get in there? Oh, no. Looks like ducks are having a much harder time eating snails. They might be able to eat bigger snails, but a duck's beak is going to be good for picking up larger things, like we can get the rock. The duck likes to eat rocks. It helps them digest their food. Or something like a worm is easy for most birds to eat. So we can get our little rubber band worms. Or something like, maybe it's a slug. You can imagine all sorts of different things that these birds might be eating. And as you look at things around your house, think about the different ways. So we've got these birds here also, and they all have different shaped beaks. We have the woodpecker, which has a long, sturdy beak that helps them drill down into the wood. We don't need to drill into any wood here, so we don't have a beak like that, but we've got a big broad beak, like maybe a really large duck might have. We can get something large like a cotton ball. That's very easy to pick up. This duck can get cotton balls, but it has a harder time with the small things. Look, it kind of drops right through. So it's a little bit more difficult for a big broad beak to get those small pieces. And if we look at our snail again, that's not going to fit. That's not going to fit at all. So this, if you had a bird with a beak like this, it probably would not be trying to eat snails. You can try this at home. If you have really good skills with your hand-eye coordination, you can even try with chopsticks. You can pick up noodles. This is a great way to just exercise your hand strength and to think about the different ways that different birds eat different things. Sometimes they have strong beaks for cracking through wood or for splitting nuts and shells, and sometimes they have narrow beaks for eating deep inside snail shells. And that's what we have for today. So feel free, this is a good tactile activity too, if you just like the way that things feel. We have soft things, we have rubbery things, we have things that make a neat sound. So I think it's just nice to have a sensory bin like this, just to enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
Hi, boys and girls, and moms and dads, and all of our families out there today. We are going to be learning how to brush our teeth today, which sounds kind of funny, but guess what? We're going to learn how to brush our teeth by making a hippo. He's chilling out in our water. He's got some teeth up in there and a tongue. So we're going to learn how to make a hippo, and then we're going to learn how to brush his teeth. So what you'll need for this activity is you'll need a pair of scissors. You could use safety scissors. My hands are a little bit too big for that, so I have some grown-up scissors here. You'll need 2 sheets or a sheet and a half of purple paper. And you can see I've already traced out my hippopotamus bottom and his top lip. So his bottom looks kind of like a peanut or an eggplant shape. And then his lip looks a little bit like a butterfly wing. If you turn it on the side, it looks kind of like a wing. The tongue is like a little teeny tiny butterfly wing, just like that. So you'll need a half sheet of red paper. And then you can use whatever color you want for the bottom. I'm using blue because I want to pretend like he's in the water. So once we have our blue paper or whatever paper you want for the bottom, if you don't have colored paper at home, that's okay. You can use whatever paper you have and color it in and use whatever you have at home to do the best you can. You'll also need a glue stick. You'll need a marker. And you can use, what I have is little teeny tiny mints for his teeth. Or you could use mini marshmallows, or again, whatever you have available at the house that you think looks like teeth. So I've already traced my eggplant shape on here. So I'm gonna cut all along my line, just like this. Moms and dads, cutting is really good literacy skill. It helps children learn their fine motor skills. It also helps them to follow along and be really intentional about where their eyes are looking. This is important for both reading and writing skills. So even if your kiddos are not going to be doing cutting out shapes like this, if they're a little bit younger, like 3 or younger, and you have safety scissors, just give them a sheet of paper and let them go to town cutting corners and strips. Once you've cut out your hippo shape, go ahead and glue down. I like to do little squigglies because they look fun to me. Glue down your hippo, just like that. That is now, looks kind of like an island, but now my hippo is in my water. Now I'm going to cut his upper lip, that purple butterfly shape. Just like I did the bottom, we're going to cut along that line, working on those fine motor skills, developing my writing skills. Cutting along that line. Once you have that out, you are only going to do 1 line of glue on this. So you'll do 1 bloop, line just like that. Flip it over, press on that line, and fold it back. Now you can see, whoop, the glue did not like to stick on that. Might have to press it down a little harder. Now you can see my hippo has a nice little mouth. I am going to give my hippo some eyeballs so that it looks a little bit more real. Give him 1 eyeball and another one. I'm going to make his eyes really big like in this story. Color that in. And I'm going to give him a little nose too. Boop, boop, just like that. So now that my hippo has a body and a mouth that he can chomp, chomp, chomp with, I'm going to give him a tongue so he can taste all the food. I'm going to cut out that red butterfly shape. And similar to our hippopotamus bottom, we are going to glue the whole thing down. This one, it's easier to just glue in a circle. Can you glue in a circle? We're gonna press that down just like that. For his teeth, oh, his top does not want to stay today. Add a little bit more glue. And if your top doesn't want to stay, that's okay, it happens. Just add a little bit more glue and see if that helps. Once we have our hippo ready to go, he's missing something. What looks different between my hippo over here and the one that we're working on? That's right, he's missing his teeth. Oh my goodness, he needs some teeth. Let's put some teeth on our hippo. So I'm gonna take one little mint and my glue stick, and I'm gonna put some glue on the edge just like that, and go boop, stick him down right on there. Now, I've already done it over here, so we're not gonna put all of his teeth on right now, because we are gonna work on brushing our teeth. Brushing our teeth is so important, because if we don't brush our teeth fall out. Oh no, we don't want our teeth to fall out. So, the important thing when we're brushing our teeth is that we take our toothbrush and we go all the way back in the back of our mouth. We open our mouth really wide and we go back in the back. We brush the sides and the top and the insides of our teeth. We bring it forward and we brush the sides and the back and the top of our teeth, and we go all the way around our whole mouth. And we do that on the bottom of our mouth and the top. So we go on the sides and the bottom and the inside, all the way around our mouth. And you know, not just our teeth need to be brushed. It's really important to brush our tongue as well, because we get so many gross germs in our mouth. We want to make sure that we stay nice and clean so our teeth stay in our mouth. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us with our craft today. Moms and dads, thank you for allowing your children to play and be messy. I'm going to hand it over to Jamie, and she is going to take us to our next activity.
Head over to this area of this super cool little space, and behind me, can you spot the gorilla behind me? How cool is he? Look at those eyes. Dude, oh my goodness. So I am here today with Pam from the YMCA of Buffalo, Niagara, and she is going to be leading us through some activities today, and we really need it. Today is a rainy day, so we might not get to go outside and play the way we normally would, so she's going to help us get some of those rainy day wiggles out of our body. See you around.
Hello, thanks for joining. And she's right, we gotta get those silly wiggles out first. So we're gonna start with some big movement, and then we're gonna calm our bodies down to some smaller movement, thinking about our breath. So our gorilla friend, we're gonna come back to in a little bit, but I wanna start off with a smaller animal, and I think I heard someone talking about earlier, it's a smaller green animal who likes to hop around, and that would be a frog. So I wanna see if we can get down into a frog pose. So I've got my feet on the ground and the hands on the ground, and see how high you can hop up like a frog. Hop, and maybe like you can hop, like say ribbit, 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 maybe 3 more frog hops, getting nice and high. 2, 1, good. We're gonna stand up nice and tall. We take a big deep breath. We're gonna do one more animal to help us get our sillies out and keep our energy and our heart rate up, and that is running fast. So one of the fastest animals in the world is a cheetah. So I want you to start to get your feet moving a little bit and start to run them as fast as you can. And picture you're like a cheetah running through the safari, you're running across the desert, and you're running as fast as you can. And keep running like that cheetah for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So now, your heart rate might be up a little bit. Take a big breath in as you reach your arms over your head, and a big breath out as you bring your hands down to your side. And do that again. Big breath in. Open your mouth, big breath out. Good. And then think about another butterfly. This is another butterfly. I just told you what it is. Another animal, a small butterfly, who likes to flap its pretty wings. So you can breathe with the flap of your wings. So breathe in as you bring your arms back. Breathe out as you bring your hands together. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. 2 more. Maybe think about what pretty colors you have in your wings today. Good. And then shake those arms out, shake those legs out. Good. Get all those sillies out, because now we're going to do something really hard. We're trying to balance on one foot. So our first pose today is going to be a koala. And koalas are these cute, cuddly little animals who love to cuddle people and trees and bamboo. So I want you to cuddle up and hug your arms around yourself. And see if you can stand on one leg and cross your other leg over like you're a koala hugging onto that bamboo stick. Good, and squeeze nice and tight. Maybe a little harder, try to look up toward the ceiling. Good, then take a big breath up, both feet down, and breathe out. Good, now you can try it on both sides. So if you want to hug, try to stand on the other foot, come into that koala pose. Maybe it's harder or easier. If you fall out, just come right back in. Good, grow your koala, big squeeze, and come on out. Big breath, and let it go. That was really good. This next animal is one of my favorite animals. So we're going to travel to the beach for this animal to become a flamingo. So we're going to stand on one foot again. I want to pick one foot up and see if I can stand like a flamingo. So my hands can come on my hips. Good, and if you want, you just keep that other leg in the air because flamingos like to stand on one leg. Or maybe you turn your knee out and you bring the foot to the inside of your other one. Good, picture big, bright pink feathers on your flamingo. And then carefully step out. Shake it out, maybe hula hoop your hips around. And then we're trying to do it on the other side. So you're gonna pick up one foot, stand nice and strong on your flamingo leg. Pick it up, good, and maybe you stay just like here. Maybe you spread your flamingo wings, maybe you flap them. Maybe bring your foot to the inside of that leg, or even bring your pink flamingo wings up. Good, step out when you're ready, shake it on out. Again, maybe just wiggle the hips or hula hoop them out. We have got another one, I'm gonna turn to the side for this one. So we have another one, instead of being flamingo, we're gonna do a bird flying through the air. So I'm gonna step on one foot, and this time I'm gonna spread my birdie wings. I'm going to see if I can tip forward without falling all the way forward to the ground. Keep looking up a little bit. Good. Keep pressing your foot back. Maybe you fly those wings. Think about where you're flying to today. Good. And then carefully step out. And again, we'll do it on the other side. This might be a tricky one. This is going to maybe hold on to your mom or dad or brother or sister's hand as you reach and fly through the sky. And then carefully step down. Good, that was all our hard balancing. We're gonna do one more pose, especially because of our gorilla friend right here, and that's gonna be gorilla pose. So I want you to take your feet out wide. Toes are gonna turn out. You're gonna bend your knees and you're gonna make big gorilla muscles. So gorillas are kings and queens of the jungle. So as we're in our gorilla pose, you maybe soften your knees or bounce up and down, and we're gonna beat on our chest and we're gonna say, I am a king, or I am a queen. Really good. And then we're going to bang our chest again and we're going to say, I am strong, because gorillas are really strong. So go, I am strong. Good, we got one more. The king and queens of the jungle are very brave, so I want you to bang on your chest and say, I am brave. One more time. I am brave. Good, and then big breath in, reach up. And big breath out, reach down. Good, walk your feet in. We're going to take one more big breath together. Big inhale, reach your hands up. This time as you exhale, reach down, touch your toes, and slowly roll up. Congratulations, you just did a great yoga class.